Peace and wholeness, divine ones. Welcome to Alchemy Balance, brought to you by Yvette, aka the Doctor of the Gods, and sponsored by the Academy of the Golden Gates. This is the Academy of the Gods, Keys to the Inner Eden series. Welcome, welcome. You have tended your inner garden through awareness and self-mastery. I know before this we have completed the keys 1 through 3, and it was very deep in structure, and for you to really understand where this series is trying to help you develop understanding for your foundational growth and your self-mastery. Now, you have opened the 7 seals and allowed your energy to flow. You have reclaimed the sacred power of your mind and your living word. Now, we step into one of the most profound gates on this journey. Key 4. The balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Before this was ever a conversation about gender, it was a conversation about cosmos. Every great spiritual tradition on earth has recognized 2 fundamental creative forces woven into the fabric of existence. These forces that move and these forces that receive, the force that structure and the force that flows, the sun and the moon, the lightning and the rain, the sea and the soul, the yin and the yang. These 2 forces work together. Right now, most people are experiencing them separately, completely not identifying that it is a part of them. So they're not understanding what's really going on, and they're very unbalanced within that part of them. These forces are not opposite. They are partners. They are not in competition. They are conversations. And both of them live within you. The return of Eden is not complete until these 2 currents are reunited within the self. And Eden, if you've been listening to these podcasts and or either watching the videos on my YouTube channel, you'll understand that Eden is the garden within. It's your inner self. It is the divine blueprint of who you really are. So you can figure out how you make it balanced, but you can't do that if you really don't understand what's really going on and what you're made of. So with these 2 forces, they have to be reunited within yourself until the wisdom. So the wisdom within you learn to dance with the will within you as well. Until your intuition and your action moves as one, everything will stay all balanced. With that being said, this is the sacred marriage. It begins inside of you. And before we open the gate to walk through this lesson, those of you that may feel like you're lost and you're not understanding what's really going on within this series, I encourage you to go back and watch 1 through 3, so you can catch up. And as of today, I've decided to put workbooks together for these series that will be in my shop, and they will not be available until this Friday. Today is May 12th. So by Friday, I should have the first 4 workbooks inside the shop, and I will not add more workbooks until I upload the series, the podcast that matches that series. So you can follow along, and if you want to learn and embody these things and just go a little deeper with yourself, the workbooks will be available for you. Now, let us just go through this gate. The first part of this teaching, we're going to learn to understand the divine masculine and divine feminine beyond gender. The divine masculine and divine feminine are universal principles, archetypes, forces of creation that exist within every human being, regardless of gender, identity, or biology. Divine masculine principle governs structure, will, direction, logic, action, protection, clarity, boundaries, and focus outward movement of energy. When it comes to divine feminine principle, it governs intuition, receptivity, flow, creativity, emotions, nourishing, wisdom, cycle, and the deep inward knowing of the soul. Neither of these are superior. Neither of these are complete without the other. I'm going to say that again. They are not complete without the other. They are to be used together. A life governed only by structure without flow becomes rigid. A life governed only by feeling without form becomes ungrounded. So they are both needed. Eden, the state of the inner wholeness, is the harmonious union of both within you. That means if you don't know much about your divine feminine and your divine masculine energy, you have to get a better relationship with them. And most of the time, if you have a counterpart or somebody that you are very close to that's the opposite sex, it'll let you see your relationship with that type of force. And you have to ask yourself, is it healthy? And if it's not healthy, you need to do some work. And I mean, not between you and a person, but just inner work. And whatever it is that you feel best for you, you have to look at it as whatever going on the inside is also projected outwardly, because as we all know, this is a holographic reality. And most of the time, your reality is set up based off of what your inner world looks like and the work that may needs to be done. So now that we're at the end of this part of the lesson, those of you that are new here, make sure you have a journal. Make sure you have a notebook to take notes, because there will be a lot of gems that will be dropped during these lessons. The quote for this section of the teaching is, within you lives both the sun and the moon. Learn their dance. You have to learn the forces within you and learn how they are supposed to operate as one and completely harmonize, so you can fully embody your consciousness and fully be operational at your highest timeline or the highest version of yourself. Okay, now let's go to the second part of the teaching, how the imbalance shows up. Now, a lot of times we don't realize that a lot of things shows up in our inside our reality, just to give us a sense of what's really going on within. Like I said before, but if you learn how to identify these things, you can tweak them, and you'll know exactly where to start your healing, and you'll know exactly what you need to work on within. So a wounded masculine energy, which is the force within, can look like hyper control, emotional suppression, aggression, inability to rest or receive, domination, disconnection from feelings. Wounded feminine energy can look like overgiving without boundaries, people pleasing, creative paralysis, emotional overwhelm, distrust of one's own wisdom, inability to take decisive actions. Let me say it again. Wounded feminine energy can look like overgiving without boundaries, people pleasing, creative paralysis, emotional overwhelm, distrust of one's own wisdom, inability to take decisive action. And when it comes to the wounded masculine, energy can look like hyper control, emotional suppression, aggression, inability to rest or receive, domination, disconnection from feelings. Most of us carry wounds in both. It's just something that's going on with the collective energy and with the archetype of all beings, because we have to understand that we are all connected when it comes to the energy that runs through us each and every day. But we all demonstrate it or relate to it differently or resonate with it differently. And that's fine, because a lot of people are on autopilot, and there's very few that's actually living intentionally. Those that are consciously waking up and setting their their energy fields and their intentions on how they're going to govern their day, they're picking and choosing what forces that they want to, or how they show up in their reality by the forces that's they're going to use throughout the day. We all do it. It's energy. If you ever notice, for example, when you see someone they very angry, those people normally are using their anger energy, and it may be coming up for them to recalibrate and for them to have a better relationship with it, because they may have been abusing that energy a lot more than they have used the other energies that are available to them. A lot of times the stuff that comes up inside of us is for us to integrate, not for you to continuously walk and use it in a obsession type way. But most people don't understand that they're not just human. We're a conscious being. You can consciously navigate your reality and create your reality the way you want it, because you have that right. We're going to leave that there. So, like I said, most of us carry wounds in both, shaped by culture, family, trauma, and inherited patterns that told us one force was safer, more acceptable, or more powerful than the other. The healing work is not about adding what you lack. I'm gonna say that again, because I need it. When it comes to healing, it's not about adding what you lack. It's about releasing what was imposed and returning to nature. Sovereign balance, that is your divine birthright. A lot of times there's things going on inside us because we have inherited these behaviors and patterns from family members, from our mother, father, from our childhood, from cultures, from different things that we have experienced throughout our life. Everybody's journey is different, and it's okay. But you have to take responsibility to see that, okay, this pattern may not be working for me. How I'm showing up with this energy, it may not be working for me. It may not be the best thing for me. It may be hindering me in my growth, and it may not reflect me based off of, may not allow me to show up as the version of myself that I want to be received as. And it's totally okay. It's always a choice in everything. You don't have to remain who you are. Is it work? Yes, because it's breaking patterns. Because you have been doing something on autopilot for so long, or you have been doing something so much that the pattern is very strong. Doesn't mean that you can't break it. It's just going to take consistent work, and it's okay. Now, the quote for this section is, "The wound is not in having one nature. It is being taught to fear the other." Hope you're following me. The wound is not in having one nature. It is being taught to fear the other, meaning we have been taught that masculine and feminine energy is a separate thing, and it's based off gender. It's not. It is forces that is within all of us that needs to be respected. And what's the word I'm looking for? Needs to be respected and needs to be acknowledged. Because if something's not acknowledged, it will not be addressed. And you will tend to have a negative influence with that, or either a negative relationship with it, because you don't even know it exists. So a lot of stuff that we do on an everyday basis, because the lack of not knowing, not having the knowledge that this is even something that's within us. But now that you're learning, you could be more aware of what's really going on, and you could pivot a lot differently, or you could choose a lot differently, or you can heal and recalibrate it to work for you and not against you. The third part of this lesson is the sacred marriage within. This is something that's not talked about. When I started this journey, I didn't know about the masculine and feminine had to operate as one. When I seen this come up on my journey, it kind of scared me, because as I was walking and learning more about my feminine energy, because I was shown my feminine energy first and got a good relationship with her. And then my masculine came in, and he came in an energy that was it reminded me of my husband, or either a male counterpart. That's how I resonated with it. And then I knew then that it was the one that was going to put everything into action. It was going to carry out the creative part of what the feminine wanted, and the masculine was the one that's going to would be the protector and carry everything out. With that being said, I realized that there was a significant importance of both of them, because when one would do one action, when she would come up with a way where she wanted to express herself and she wanted to create, he would come in and he would be very protective. So at that moment, he was showing me how I should really move forward with that type of energy. And then that, by me having a great relationship with him, it actually reflected outwardly. Then I had to change relationship with my actual husband at that time. No longer with him, but I had to see what was really going on to actually respect myself more. But it had to start within first. So the ancient traditions call the inner union the hero's gamer. It's Hieros, and the second word is Gamos. I may be pronouncing it wrong, but the meaning of these words is the sacred marriage of the two divine principles within the soul. In Kemet wisdom, it is Aset and Asar. Wisdom meaning wisdom and resurrection reunited. In the Hermetic philosophy, it is the sacred union of Mercury and sulfur, meaning the mind and the soul. In the Taoist tradition, it is the yin and the yang, not in opposition, but in internal flowing union, allowing everything to flow and to harmonize within the self so you can embody peace. The sacred marriage within means your will serves your wisdom. Your structure honors your flow. Your action is rooted in intuition. Your softness is held by your strength. When these two factors meet in harmony within you, you become a channel of the divine creative power. Your relationship is reflected through wholeness. Your work carries the integration. Your life becomes a living expression of Eden, meaning you have completely embodied peace and understanding of who you are, what you are, and how you create, with you being consciously responsible for how you show up and how you interact with these forces. Now, this is something that's been hard for a lot of people because we have been taught or led to believe that this has not been a part of who we are. But learning these principles and learning that these forces are within us, it allows you to have awareness of how it actually works inwardly and how you can actually make a difference by choosing consciously how you interact with these. Now, in part 4 of this lesson, we're going to practicing the inner union, meaning honoring the divine masculine within. And I'm going to tell you how to do this, because by knowing how to do this, it allows you to take this tool to make some changes in your life if you choose to. Totally up to you. But to honor the divine masculine, you set clear intentions and follow through with your disciplined action. You practice healthy boundaries, saying yes with full commitment and no with full peace. Meaning, understanding that if you say no, don't allow it to mentally cause mental anguish. Be peaceful with it. Respect your boundaries, respect your choice that you make, and move forward. Cultivate stillness through structure, a morning ritual, a focused practice, a commitment kept. Whatever you decide to help you in your life, whatever the changes that you need to make and you decide to make, fully commit to it. Don't abandon yourself. Allow yourself to see it through. no matter what, no matter how you feeling that day. You honor your growth and the journey that you own, but you also remember that where you came from and where you headed, and commit and still try to show up in a way where you are fully being responsible for who you are and how you're growing. Now that we've talked about how to honor the divine masculine within, we're going to step into the lesson where it talks about honoring the divine feminine within. This is a place where you create space for rest. You allow yourself to receive and allow your intuition to be okay, be welcome in a safe space. Understand that knowing is okay. Journaling during this time, because it's like a nurturing setting for you. A lot of people don't really want to do that because they feel like that's too much work to see who you really are. But really, that allows yourself to be free and very expressive. So allow those type moments to be a moment where you receive information from yourself and try to understand what yourself is trying to tell you. You will honor your emotional intelligence. Feel fully without being swept away. Engage creativity, movement, cyclical rest as sacred, not indulgement. The integration practice before any major decision and creative act, you have to pause and ask, what does my mind know? This is the masculine, meaning logic, structure, and direction. Then you have to also ask, what does my soul feel? This is the feminine self principle, meaning intuition, wisdom, and renaissance. And then you have to ask, where do they agree? This is where you find the balance. That is your alignment path forward. Learning to allow both parts to work together as one is a major and very profound art of the divine masculine and divine feminine principle. So the quote for this section is, the greatest power is not in choosing one force over the other. It is learning to will both as one. I appreciate you for being here and allowing yourself to understand the forces that we have within us. Now, those that love to journal or reflect, here's a little something that you can add to your week or your day. Where in my life have I over relied on structure and will, or on feeling and flow at the expense of the other? What would my life look like and feel like if both forces within me were fully honored, healed, and working together in sacred union? The work is yours alone. When you learn that you are responsible for how you show up, you understand the principles of these forces. Remember, divine masculine and divine feminine has to work together as one sacred union. And it is done with work and awareness. So in closing, you were not made to be half of yourself. You were not made to suppress your strength in order to be soft, or silence your depth in order to appear decisive. You were made whole, carrying within you the full spectrum of divine creative power. The masculine within you is not your enemy. The feminine within you is not your weakness. They are your greatest allies, waiting to be reunited, waiting to remember the dance that they were always meant to dance together. When they do, when your will, when your wisdom finally moves as one, you will feel it in your body, in your choices, in the quality of your peace that is Eden. That is peace within. That is your sacred marriage. That is you, beloved, whole, sovereign, and free. Until next time, honor both rivers within you. Let them meet, let them flow, let them carry you home. Those of you that are still here, remember, I've just started adding workbooks to these keys, and you can find them in the Academy shop at academyofthegoldengate.com. Again, it is academyofthegoldengate.com. Go to the shop and you will see the series there. There will be workbooks that you can pick up just so you can learn more about the Eden, the garden within, and the divine principles. And whatever key that we are on, you can receive the workbook to support and accommodate you while you are embodying these keys. Until next time, I'm sending you love. Have a good one.